Hey guys, welcome back to Almost Inevitable Design. My name is still PK, and today I have something really awesome for you. You know how I talk about the Breakdance Builder quite a bit because I really like it and I think it's great for developers or designers of all skill levels. Well, today I actually got to talk to Lewis, who is the head of Breakdance, and I got to ask him some questions. So I'm going to share that with you. And if you have any other questions that you would like me to ask, I might be able to ask him to come sit with me again and do another one of these sessions. So please leave a comment down below. And of course, if you're here for any breakdance content or web development, web design content, please like and subscribe, like everybody says. So please do that as well. And I will see you, and I'll share that video now. So I'll see you there. Well, I don't know where. It's going to pop up here. So I'll see you in that video. All right. Yeah. Anyways, so
Let's do it.
let's talk about these things. So hey everyone. This I don't know if you get to see this side, but for me, you're on this side. So I'm gonna say this is Lewis from Breakdance. So thank you for sitting with me today. Very excited for this interview, and I hope it helps people get some insight on what's going on with Breakdance. Let I sort of structured these questions to cover the past, present, and future. And let's start with the past, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to doing this.
sounds great. All right. So, couple quick things about the past, and I'm sure this has been discussed quite a bit, but although there is some overlap, I can clearly see a very big difference between breakdance and oxygen, and I really like how it's different. For example, in Elijah's, which is for oxygen, Elijah's recent videos, I'm like, that is a really cool feature, but that's only for oxygen, and it makes sense for oxygen. And I feel like one of the most significant differences between oxygen and breakdance is the basic approach to how you build and structure things. And in the end, it comes down to the builder elements. It feels like so. I don't use any third-party builder add-ons. I haven't seen or used any. I have fixed people's websites that use third-party add-ons, but I haven't seen any that actually add any value to a builder. So I can't comment on the add-ons, but a lot of people seem to really use that a lot, especially in Oxygen, which leads me to my question on Breakdance and how it has so many user-friendly, front-end centric elements.
Hmm.
And I guess the main question would be, did the abundance of Oxygen add-ons influence your approach to breakdance, or rather are you trying to get breakdance to have the best library as first party as possible?
Yeah. So Breakdance is basically meant to be very easy to use. We want to include the best library of included elements. So it wasn't just Oxygen add-ons that influenced us. They did a little bit, but it was really more add-ons for other more popular visual builders like Elementor, because with Oxygen, you can basically build anything since you're just building with fundamental HTML elements, right? Build
Yeah.
out of divs and classes. But Breakdance is meant to offer similar power and flexibility to everybody, not just developers who know how to do that. So really, when deciding what elements to build, there's a few things that we think about. One would be the versatility, like does this element have a wide range of use cases? Because I mean, we did put 130 elements in Breakdance. That's a ton of elements. So how do we pick them? We want to make sure the element is going to be popular. We want it's usable for a lot of different things. We want to make sure there's ample room for customization. That's a big priority because we want to make it easy to create like diverse and unique designs, with ease.
Mhm.
Um, we're also focused on making stuff that's easy to use. So I mean, there's certain elements that you could build, but they might be confusing or tricky to actually build with. That's usually not something we'd want to put in Breakdance. We're always thinking about the future, right? Web design trends evolve. We want to ensure the elements remain relevant, over the long term. One question we commonly get in Breakdance is like, you included so many elements, why don't you include a flip box? And I'm not, I hate flip boxes. I
Me
rarely see them
too.
done well, you know, on professional websites. So it's like, that's not something we're going to throw in. We don't want to make it easy to build a bad website. We want to help people build good websites.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then another thing is power and flexibility. So that's why we have elements like the advanced slider, where you can drag anything you want into the slider, advanced tabs, anything you want in the tabs, advanced accordion. Um, and we're also thinking about, time savings, because obviously, I mean, Breakdance does have a div element, so you could build anything you want out of the divs, throw in a bit of custom code, whatever, but it'd be very time consuming. So that's why we'll throw in stuff, that'll save you time, like a gallery element, right? Or a pricing
Hmm.
table. So
Yeah.
that's basically the general approach.
Okay. So, because the follow-up question was, what's the main criteria? But I think you sort of explained that. It's usability and how they're actually good future-proofed elements. And that am I getting am I doing that,
Yeah, yeah,
summarizing
yeah.
that correctly, or
Basically. Yeah, we just aim to provide a lot of high quality elements. We're really looking at like what are the popular elements and other add-on packs, right,
yeah.
for other builders. Because you kind of see like, someone buys Elementor and then they have like these 3 add-on packs that almost everybody installs. Like, okay, why are they installing those? They're probably not installing it for the flip box, I hope. Why are they
Oh,
installing it? Let's
I
build
had
those up.
I had to make a website at an agency I used to work at, and it used Elementor, and they used Elementor, and I had to use it because nobody else would learn anything else.
Yeah,
And they had a whole page made of flip boxes, and I was so angry. So, so yeah,
it's what it
I get
is.
you on that.
We try and break dance to help people make beautiful websites. And I certainly see people making slightly better looking websites than they would otherwise. But it feels like no matter what I do as a designer of a product, people are going to find a way to do things that aren't my taste. So, maybe you will see a Flipbox and breakdance one day, but not today.
Yeah, yeah, they will. They will. Somebody will come up with that. I was actually making a custom element last night, and I really like how you can actually make it. It's comparable to like ACF Gutenberg blocks with, yeah, anyways.
Right.
I think it's
Yeah.
really cool, and
Element
I'm
Studio is
really
killer.
enjoying it. Yeah. So yeah, it's customizable. You can actually expand it, so that's really great. So as a front-end developer, one of the most important skills that I think all front-end developers should have is understanding design and the intention of the design. And I think that background helped me understand the UI intention of Breakdance better than others. And watching your walkthrough videos really helped because it showed how you use it, which is clearly the intention of how the UI was put
Mhm.
together. And you can tell that, well, I could tell that it was built for speed and ease from somebody on the computer, just, going through shortcuts and everything like that. And you put the most important features and the ones that are not supposed to be tinkered with forward. And I mean, the ones that are not supposed to be tinkered with are sort of hidden, and the ones that are more
Right.
important are put forward. And it doesn't look
Exactly.
like, yeah, it doesn't look like a half-hearted attempt at trying to do everything in one long scroll of features that some
Right.
other builders do. And that also opens up the gates for everybody tinkering with everything, and you get like margin padding, margin padding, margin padding, and then just everything just
Get big
breaking.
white farm mobile. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You get that side jiggle so easily. I actually had to fix sites because they try to push things with a side margin, and it just pushed everything out, and
Right.
it just you get the side
Yeah.
jiggle. You
That's
get
why we
that
put
so much. So
up front and
yeah,
not margin
I
right and
really
left.
like the UI, right? But even then, some people complain, and also version ones are not always perfect. So have
Right.
you noticed any UI tweaks that you think could help the experience even further?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so right now, number one priority for us from a UI standpoint is getting some of the more common stuff that people use just to click away. Because right now, as you said, a lot of the stuff that shouldn't really be tinkered with is far away. It's inside that advanced panel. You got to go to wrapper, and then there are a bunch of pop outs. So a lot of that stuff shouldn't really be used often or is regularly misused. But there's some of it that we got to make it easier to get to, like absolute and relative positioning. That's a big one that does get used. Z-index, flex wrap gets used a lot. So we really want to find a way to make that just a click away without kind of getting the other important stuff that we put front and center out of the way.
Mhm.
So that's a big priority. We're thinking of ways to do that. We want to improve the layout controls as well. Because right now, you had a section, or we got the new grid element, you got a div. The layout controls are good, but I feel like they could be better. I feel like we could kind of take like a framer like approach almost, and then have like a little toggle right there where you could get advanced layout controls for CSS Flexbox and CSS Grid with all the CSS names. So that would make all the advanced users happy, because that would all be like right in the layout panel for a div. They wouldn't have to go into advanced wrapper, but it would still make it just as easy to use for the newbie users that don't need to know about any of that stuff. Because
Right.
we'd have like I'll post like a screenshot or a sneak preview of this at some point. But
Yeah.
that's a big priority. Getting less clicks, more stuff up front that you need to use, while keeping the
Right.
stuff you don't away.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Wait, I
Go
think
ahead.
I'm not 100% sure, but when I first started testing and checking out Breakdance when it was in like alpha, or when it first released, I think when I noticed was when you type in a class, there was no way to enter the class besides clicking. But I think
Yeah,
now you can actually use the keyboard arrow and then press enter.
press enter and it'll add the
Did
class.
you add that,
I
or
I
did I
don't
miss it the first
remember.
time?
I don't remember. It's not something I
Okay.
would remember if
Yeah,
we
because
added or not.
because
But
that changed, and that made it so much easier for me to add
to
extra
apply
classes here and
class,
there. Yeah.
yeah. We could improve the properties panel search. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Because we got to click to use it. So we got
The
to add a
gear
keyboard
cog.
shortcut to focus that box. And then you got to click the cog too to get in the advanced. We got to add
Yeah.
another keyboard shortcut to focus that. So I don't know, like Command Shift, S or something. Maybe we can't use that, but some kind of search keyboard shortcut to get there. And then like it's just the keyboard. Maybe we could also add a keyboard shortcut to add a class or open up that classes panel for the more
Oh
advanced
yeah,
use.
that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
one thing is I use the command A to add, and then type in the search to add the elements, because I saw
right.
you do that, and that's really, really good. It helps the workflow a lot. And it's almost at a level of where Oxygen uses Emmet. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not the same level, but it is
Right.
pretty clear, pretty quickly typable, and you can just add things really quickly and just move things around after that. So
Exactly.
yeah, so I think that's great. Like having quick keyboard shortcuts, as long as you know them, it really helps your workflow a lot.
Right. And you don't have to know Emmett. Emmett's super cool, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I really know Emmett. So
yeah. I really like. Yeah, man. Anyways, so yeah, so yeah, thanks for that, and I really look forward to the gear cog shortcut.
gear cog shortcut. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of the power users want that. So we'll
yeah.
probably throw that.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, and about sort of going into the present, I've also noticed that Breakdance has released a couple of new pre-built layouts that seem a little more softer and more feminine, depending on who you ask. Some people don't seem to like it. Doesn't really matter. Just because it's clear and simple doesn't mean it's bad. But maybe they have different tastes. Doesn't really matter. But it does seem like you're expanding on the style a little bit more. And because Breakdance is an Elementor competitor, this is, I think, a great addition. Show It, Code, spelled with a Q, Elementor, and even Squarespace have a lot of feminine, softer, pastel, earthy colors and designs, using a lot of modern serifs, italics, and script fonts. So
Mm-hmm.
is the feminine side, and a lot of people who use Elementor need that, because a lot of them are women who have female clients as well. So is
Mm-hmm.
the feminine side an approach that you are actively adding to the Breakdance portfolio, or is it just a coincidence that that's happening? And if it is a coincidence, would you consider more feminine designs?
Total coincidence. And yeah, absolutely. Like basically we just let the designers run wild, and we say like, here's some niches, here's some categories of designs we want created. Go to town, make it look beautiful, make something that our clients can use to wow their clients. And I mean, recently we've been shipping a few new design templates each month, and we're going to continue doing that going
Yeah,
forward.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, we can certainly, what we really need to do, we got to add a design template request section to the feature request board. And then we got to let people vote. That way we can get a better idea of like what the most requested stuff is. And if a lot of people want that stuff, I mean, that's what we'll build for
right,
sure.
right. Um, So in your, like, when you research like your audience where you can expand into, um, so a lot of what is it, like small freelance female, I mean women designers and developers, are they on your radar?
Yeah, I mean, we don't usually think in terms of demographics on that much of a granular level. Like, we're just
Okay,
more thinking about, okay, like who is building websites with WordPress? Who is building websites for clients?
right.
We're not really segmenting it, down any further than that.
Okay, yeah.
We don't really see a need to. And then as far as like the way we would pick design templates to create, I mean, we don't take that much of a scientific approach. We just kind of look at like what are the popular categories of websites people are creating with Breakdance and with WordPress and just kind of build templates for that.
Okay,
And we also
cool.
try to make the templates, versatile. So like, sure, we might have a template for, some sort of construction business, but that doesn't mean you got to use it for that. That's just
You
kind
can
of the
swap
start.
out the photos.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like a photography website, if you swap out the photos, can become a DJ website easily. So
Yep.
yeah, depends on
Exactly.
who's in the photos.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think this can bring up is that breakdance is made for agencies. It seems like it is made for a lot
Mhm.
of agencies. The pricing structure and basically started off as an agency centric pricing structure, it seems.
Mhm.
And the client mode, which I love, which Oxygen and Bricks also has, I guess. Um,
Mhm.
Having the client mode as well is very great. It helps a lot with making templates and having clients not break the website. So that's all things that agencies would definitely value.
Mhm.
So many so are there any really cool things that you see that are floating around that you think agencies can either try when they're using breakdance, or features that you think agency owners would definitely love about breakdance that you want to um, showcase here today?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, ultimately, agencies, they just tend to want a high quality product that's going to, save them time, make them money, let them deliver results for their clients. In many instances, they want powerful features. I mean, and we certainly have those, right? We got dynamic data, advanced custom fields, meta box integrations. We got built in post loop builder that supports advanced custom fields, repeater fields. We've got a good form builder, conditional element display, good performance. I mean, we have all that. But
Yeah.
as far as like agency specific stuff, there are a few things. One of them is client mode, which I noticed a lot of the agency customers are using. Um, so you already mentioned client mode, but the ability to like share your site as a template, turn it into a source for the design library, that's a pretty big one where
Oh
basically
yeah.
you site with Breakdance and like you can use our design library to add sections, pre-made sections to your pages. You can create a repository of your own custom sections, headers, footers, whatever, and then you can connect that to another Breakdance install, and you can add your pre-made sections from one site to another. And we also have cross-site copy paste, so they tend to use that when they're going to reuse stuff across a website.
Yeah.
Um, that one we kind of knew they'd be using. One thing that a ton of them are using that I didn't realize was going to be so popular was Element Studio. So Element Studio, for those who don't know, is a built-in feature of Breakdance. It lets you build elements visually. So instead of using an API where you make a PHP file and like call some function to register the element and then like add controls to the element and all that, Element Studio, maybe you can put a screenshot of this up on the screen. Basically, I mean, not at this moment, but like
Oh
in post,
yeah.
um, like, uh, that'll, yeah, that'd be dope. But yeah, it gives you like a visual way to build
Yeah.
elements live inside Breakdance. So if you want some kind of custom element for doing a specific thing, fire up Element Studio, create it, and then they're letting the clients, fill in the content of these elements with the combination of client mode and providing the clients the controls they want the client to have. And then
Mhm.
like the way the element looks, they can get super advanced because you're doing HTML in there, CSS in there. You can fire actions, run JavaScript, whatever from inside Element Studio. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't realize. I thought that was mostly going to be used by like, you know, element developers making third-party elements for sale. And we even use it on breakdance.com. Like on our homepage, we got those custom cards. Like we just built that in Element Studio.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
But
highly recommend the
like you
feature.
said, it's visual, so it's very easy once you get the hang of it. And I like I said, I actually made one for myself last night just because I wanted a very simple like three text input block that just does whatever I
Yep.
needed at that moment. And I just
Yeah.
put it together in a few minutes and then just put in this CSS and that's it. It actually
Right.
works. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's great is when you click the save button in Element Studio, it generates the actual like PHP code for the element. So you can save that in your own custom plugin, and then you could distribute that, reuse it across sites. I mean, we
Yeah.
had no idea it would be as popular as it
Oh yeah,
is.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Like,
is advanced. You got to know HTML, CSS to use it and to really make the most of it. JavaScript too.
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And well, so when you export the content tags, like the double curly bracket ones that look like liquid, that is actually pretty great, pretty easy to put in the HTML and everything. So
Yeah.
for anybody
Twig.
who's watching this who's scared of Element Studio or want to know, just check out my channel. I have, I think I might, but you can check out the Breakdance YouTube channel. They have that, and it's actually very easy to do. So you don't have to do everything, because if you're not selling the element, if you're using it for yourself in your agency, then you don't have to do everything that is a
Right.
shippable product. All you need is just something that works on your site or on the sites that you put together. And
Exactly.
I see a lot of agency people get really excited about seeing how you can have a website where you can import all the like the layouts from that website. It actually gets people excited when they see it, and they're just like, I got to do this, I want to get on this. And I think that's a really great feature that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Efficiency is key. I mean,
it is
efficiency
so
is key,
quick.
right?
Yeah.
Anybody trading their time for money, spend half the time, you double your rate, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so let's see. We have to get to the future, but do you have anything else that you want to talk about right now, or that's going on now, or
Nothing specific. Any questions you got, ask away.
okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah, all
like
right.
whatever you want to cover.
All right. Let's see. Can we talk quickly about Gutenberg?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I think I mentioned, because Element Studio is similar and quite easier than using ACF with Gutenberg, which I used to do a lot.
Right.
But Gutenberg still, regardless of whether it has full site editing or whatever they're doing, I've tried it. I'm not happy with it. But anyways, blog pages will end up being Gutenberg anyways.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, and a lot of people want engaging blogs. So is there any integration between Gutenberg and Breakdance planned in the future, or is there anything that you're thinking of in that
I mean,
Gutenberg sense?
right now, you can certainly write a blog post in Gutenberg and just display that in Breakdance using the Breakdance post content element. So that'll pull from Gutenberg.
Yeah.
And as far as including like default Gutenberg styles in Breakdance, we're not intending to do it. But if you load any third-party element pack in that comes with its own styles, I mean, it'll look in Breakdance like it does when if you used it with a theme or however else you can use it. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So not in the Gutenberg builder though. That's because Oxygen has something like that. I was just,
Oh, right. The ability to like edit the breakdance design content in Gutenberg and vice versa. No, we
yeah.
don't really have plans for that. I mean, we built that with Oxygen and just the Gutenberg APIs, they're, undocumented, changing. It honestly wasn't a good idea. We really wanted to in Oxygen 4.0 improve that a lot. And we tried really hard. And to be honest, like we couldn't. We failed to do so. We wanted to make it so you could make the changes in Gutenberg and have it go back into Oxygen or vice versa. And it
Okay.
was just completely unrealistic. So
Okay.
we're definitely not going the move everything into Gutenberg direction. Um, just simply because I mean compare the breakdance interface to the Gutenberg interface,
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. For pages, I think Element Studio is more than enough for like 99% of the cases. and I don't think there's any reason that anybody needs to talk about Gutenberg for pages. But for
Right.
blog posts,
Great
I
for
guess they
blog
can
posts.
come up with patterns or whatever.
Right.
Should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So about the future, because we're still talking, I guess, about the future, but what do you see being worked on in the really far future, like Breakdance 2.0? We're at 1.4 right now, so
Right.
1.4 right now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do you see in 2.0?
I mean, I don't think 2.0 is that far off. I mean, flagship features, for 2.0, maybe CSS grid, um, maybe an overhauled layout system of the type I was talking about before, where you get the simplified controls and CSS Flexbox and CSS grid in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Element presets is a big one that I want to do. So basically, a lot of people, more advanced users, they're talking about, oh, I want to build with divs and classes. I want to use a class to reuse my styles. Well, we want to create something called element presets, where for like a pricing table or a gallery or whatever, you create your styles for that element. You then save it as a preset, and then you can use that preset on other elements. You can export that preset. You can share it across websites, etc. And then when you edit the styles in that preset, it would apply to all the elements that you applied that preset to. So basically classes, but instead of applying to like a single HTML element, it applies to an entire breakdance element, which is like an amalgamation of, I don't know, like 30 HTML elements. So
Okay.
um, I don't think any of that stuff is that far off. I mean, maybe we ship that before 2.0 and do something different for 2.0.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, I mean,
I should
that's
have
kind of what.
asked more further in the future then.
Yeah, no, I can answer that too. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're thinking about for now.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, far into the future,
Mm-hmm.
it's so hard to say, but like we definitely see the ecosystem starting to grow. So we're definitely thinking about a marketplace for designs and add-ons, because
Okay.
some of the stuff for breakdance that's coming out now is super cool. Like that Elements Hive element pack
Oh yeah. Yeah,
with all the
definitely.
WebGL effects, like that stuff is wild. And we really want to do as much as we can to help those developers get as many eyeballs and sales as possible. So, and some of the third party design sets for Breakdance are absolutely fantastic. They look great. They're
Mm-hmm.
built properly. They're not, just nesting a bunch of columns. They're actually built to a high standard. So, we really want to help those guys out
Yeah.
and take a cut of their revenue, right? Makes good business sense for us too. So,
Yeah.
marketplace is something. And I was telling you before we actually turned on the recording for this call, definitely thinking about some AI stuff, right? I mean,
Right.
AI is only better and better. I mean, the way AI is today is the worst it's ever going to be, and it's pretty damn good now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody experiences the problem of I have a website, I have a design, it looks great. When is my client going to get me this content? Come on,
Yeah.
client, where's the content? I mean, they can offer content writing as a service and then press a button in the AI that'll, understand the context of their website and design and
Mm-hmm.
generate that content. So
Yeah. Yeah. Like we were talking
definitely
about
something to think
before, as you
about.
said, it would be great. And I've tried this with some of them, like ChatGPT and Bard. You can ask it, like you can give it the context. So like on the back end or in the settings or somewhere like global preferences or wherever, teach AI about the website, and then anything that you ask it to output, then it'll take it
Exactly.
from that. Yeah. So
Exactly. You tell it, "Hey, this is a website for, XYZ business and XYZ niche,
yeah.
in XYZ customers. Make sure all your responses are in like a fun tone,
Yeah.
or, make sure all your responses sound like Snoop Dogg or whatever it is." And then rather than just like having the AI write like a heading for you, it'll like understand the elements on your page and like literally generate the entire website.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Oh, the whole
you'd create,
website. Yeah.
yeah, like I mean, you'd create the design and then it would just generate all the content
Oh,
for
right.
everything. Like one button
Yeah.
is, it's kind of the goal. So I mean,
Images
that's
would
part of the future.
images would be a little taxing though, wouldn't it? Like stock
Very
images. Yeah.
right. But I mean, I'm sure there's a way to search Unsplash and like
Oh
give the
yeah.
user choice of images,
Yeah.
and kind of streamline that process.
Yeah.
So it's not like a mad. I mean, there's been a lot of people trying to make like AI website builder where you just say, I want a website for XYZ type of business and like spits out the website. I don't really see that going well in the near future or maybe ever. But uh, I mean, I should never say ever with, technology, but at least in the near future, but like the designer, like being like, okay, the website's gonna have these 6 pages and, we gonna have a hero section and then, this section, this other section, then having AI kind of fill that out absolutely seems like the move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be very, very cool. If yeah.
pull that off.
Would that have to have, because it has to have an API for whatever, ChatGPT or Bard or whatever it is, would that need to have an extra add-on pricing to that, or
Yeah, definitely. We couldn't just throw it in because like every request would like hit our server to then talk to
yeah,
the LLMs or hit the LLM directly. So definitely like a,
yeah,
paid thing, third party thing.
yeah.
Somebody's actually come out with something that does something similar for Oxygen, which is pretty damn cool. So
Oh,
we're probably gonna see more and more of those type of products come out for WordPress over the next year. And I think
yeah,
they're gonna do very well.
yeah. That does sound very cool. Yeah. Um, cool. And I do actually like how you use a lot of probably mid-journey images in the layouts from the some of the designs. And isn't it? I think,
Yeah. Hey, I'm not the one making the designs, and I don't really tell the designers what to do. But yes, they absolutely have used some AI generated images in some of the designs.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I mean, we just got to get images wherever that the copyright's acceptable for us to distribute. So a lot of Unsplash, a lot of Pexels, and some
yeah,
AI generated stuff.
yeah. That was pretty cool. Okay, so do you have anything that you'd like to sign off with, or
Um, No, not really. For anybody who isn't using Breakdance yet, go to our website, breakdance.com, try it. Tons of people are switching from other builders, and most of them stick with Breakdance and say, wow, this is a big improvement on what I was using before. It's revolutionized my workflow. I'm building better websites in less
yeah,
time. And I mean, really, that's our goal with the product. So try it out, free version, and a 60-day money back guarantee.
yeah, that's great. Yeah. Also, I just like to say I really like breakdance.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
I'm glad you do.
yeah, yeah. I've I've used it on a few projects, and I'm working on a new one for a client as well right now. And the systems are really good. It has enough easy features for even beginners to understand, and it has everything up to just writing PHP and JavaScript in the fields directly, which is all you need sometimes. So
Right.
yeah, it covers the whole gamut. So I think it's
That
great.
was the goal.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thanks. I'm glad you like it. And
yep,
thanks so much for having me on and doing this.
yeah. Thank you for your time, Lewis, and hope the viewers, everybody who's watching the video, understand Breakdance better. It's a great site builder, and I hope it gets all the success it deserves. So thank
Yeah,
you
of
for your
course.
time.
Yeah, thank you. And to anybody watching, I'll be monitoring the comments on PK's channel. So feel free to comment and I'll pop in and answer when I can, for
Yeah,
sure.
that sounds great. Thanks so much. I'll let you know once it goes live, once I upload it, and yeah, you can go from there.
Sweet. Okay. Talk to
All
you
right.
later. All
Thanks.
right.
So yeah, that went great, right? If you have any extra questions that you'd like me to ask him for a part two, then please leave a comment down below. And of course, always, as everybody YouTuber says, please leave a like and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll see you around.